Hi, it's Imogen Lamport from Inside Out Style, and I am coming to you with more questions to answer from my lucky dip today. So the first one comes from Larissa, who says, my biggest challenge is finding clothes I like in shops that suit my age and figure. Clothes are either super skimpy or loose fitting, which only makes me look bigger than I am. I have a classic hourglass shape with hips and a bum and a little pouch in the front. So even the clothes I think I like on the model or mannequin hardly ever suit my shape. I feel like this makes me super fussy when it comes to clothes because I never feel comfortable. Now, this is really common. And in fact, when I'm looking at all the questions that have been coming through lately, there's a bit of a theme going on here, and this is common. So there's a few things we want to think about here. Is number one, sometimes clothing fashion trends are not made for your shape. So if you are, say, hourglass sort of figure of some sort or other, if everything is boxy or very loose fitting or oversized, it's not your fashion season. So it's going to be really hard to find clothes. Now, you might go, okay, well, there's a lot of blouses out, so that means I have to tuck and blouse rather than having things left out. So that is an option. So it's how can I wear the current fashion in a way that works with my body. So that's the first thing. So two, if things are really loose, sometimes it's worth going down a size. Like sometimes if things are really big and loose fitting, try a few sizes smaller than you normally try, because then maybe they'll actually fit better. And you don't have to wear them in the really loose way that they are being designed to go. So I would think about sometimes it's not your fashion season, and everybody gets a moment in the fashion season sun. And, so what is great for one body shape is not great for another. And, we have to accept that this is how fashion trends and fashion cycles work. But you know what? They come and they go fairly quickly. So it's not going to be forever that you can't find anything that works for you. And if you know that super skimpy is not for you, well, great, just don't go there. But I would look at the ways you could go, well, if things are very loose and you need a defined waist, think about, well, can I put a belt on it? Can I tuck something in? Can I do something that gives me the shape that I need? And then that's going to be how you can style that for you in a way that works for you. And look, finding things in shops, and when you're talking about you never feel comfortable, one of the things you want to define is, what does comfortable actually mean to you? Because it's a lot of different sorts of comfort. And I've talked about this before, and I have written, it's a 6-part blog post series called How to Build a Perfect Wardrobe. And I talk about all the different types of comfort there are. And there's emotional comfort, there's mental comfort and physical comfort. And physical comfort isn't just, one thing. Physical comfort means different things to different people. And this is where you need to work out, what does comfortable really mean to you? What are your criteria? And if you don't really know what that is, you'll often put things on and going, this is not right, but you don't know what is right. And you don't even know how to talk to a sales assistant and tell them what you're really looking for, because you don't know how to actually define what is right for you and what comfort means and what you're actually after. So sometimes it's not your season, and just move on. Don't stress about it. Don't shop. And in fact, I was talking last night to a friend of mine, and she said, you know what, I never just go shopping. I stumble across things I like when I'm out and about, and then I buy them. And that is often a really great way of building a wardrobe, if you can do that. So as long as you're not naked and all your clothes aren't completely holey and falling to pieces, and they, you've got some things to wear, it is that sort of thing, is rather than have this expectation when you go shopping that you're going to bring something home, treat shopping as more like I'm going to go out and look around and see what's currently available. And if I happen to stumble across something that I really love, that is fantastic. But otherwise, it's like going to a museum or a gallery, and I'm going to look at the things, but I'm not actually buying the things. I'm not actually taking them home. And I do find that the more you know about your style and, what suits your body, your personality, your colouring, and all the different aspects, your values, all the different aspects that go into making up the style puzzle. When you are shopping, it's much easier to go, you know what, it's not my fashion season. So I don't feel bad, because I can go, clothing manufacturers are not currently making anything for me. Versus when you don't know, you tend to feel bad because you haven't defined what it is that you need and what you want. And so therefore you feel like it's something wrong with you, rather than that the retailers are just not currently making anything for you. And this is where too, that if your local stores aren't doing it for you, but there's a whole world out there and so many different places you can shop, and you can find people on Etsy who'll make you something. You could find a dressmaker, or you could learn to sew yourself, and you can have so much more control. That's one of the reasons I've got back into sewing in recent years, is that I was out there thinking, I just want like a knee-length, straight skirt made from something nice and stretchy for comfort. Couldn't find anything out there. Everything was mini skirts or really long, or it's a fit and flare shape, which doesn't suit my body. And I was like going, well, there's nothing out here for me. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to, get out my rusty sewing machine. I'm going to go and buy some fabric, and I'm going to start making things. And so I could make a bunch of skirts that actually suited me, that suited my colouring, that suited my body, that were made to fit me. So suddenly I've got things in my wardrobe that I want. And then like this current fashion season where there's a lot of this kind of tiered, oversized buffet dresses around, which, are on the whole not the most flattering sort of dress for many of us. So if you've got a waist, it's not really your style, unless you get one that has it brought in at the waist. But I went, you know what? I can go out and I can find some dress patterns, and I can go and make myself some dresses. So I have the control because, I've learnt to sew, and I'm using those skills again. And also too, is it's often hard to find things in the colours or the patterns and things that you like as well. So when you sew, you also have a bit more opportunity there to choose some things. Now, we're still limited by the fabrics out there. And in fact, the other week I was in the fabric store and I was going, I'd love to make, something else. I could not find a fabric I liked. And that's the same, that was just in one fabric store, but it was that sort of thing where it's the same as going out into the world to go, well, none of these are really me, and so there's no point in trying to find something that's me. So, go to a few other fabric stores or go online and find something on a fabric store that's not my local area and order something. But it is thinking about, how can I get around the fact that if I'm not loving anything in a store and I'm not feeling comfortable, then what is wrong with it? Why isn't it nothing working? And could it be it's just not my fashion season, or my color season, or is it that I don't really know what I'm after and it's very hard to define that? And so this is where getting that style education, so getting your colors, understanding the styles, understanding your personality, all those things are going to help you when you're actually shopping. And then don't think about it as super fussy. I want you to think about yourself as being discerning. And I love it when my clients become more discerning, because it means they're no longer bringing just anything into their wardrobe, which will hang in there and not be worn. Because, the average woman wastes something like, $900 a year on clothes she does not wear. So you are better than average because you're not buying those things that you're not going to wear. So think about it as discerning, not super fussy. Let's reframe that into something positive. And think about it as a different way of, thinking, but also just understanding that fashion retailers that usually, and this is something I really notice when I'm shopping with clients, is we'll hit all the stores and we'll hit a point where we go, we're just seeing more of the same. We're not finding anything different. And that's just the way fashion cycles work. And so sometimes we go, there's nothing. We're basically seeing the best of what's out here. We've got the best of what it is for you at that moment. And just wait, a season, and something new will be in stores and you can try again then.